What's up, everybody? This is Justin from Game On, and today I have a special guest, Spencer.
Hi, Game On.
Yes. So, 18 months ago, Quinian Budget Crafts and the Beard Clipper said, Justin, it is time for you to make a cooking video. And I make good on my promises, so 18 months later, here we go. What are we doing today, Spencer?
So today we're going to do a nice in-style meal to help set the setting for your next D&D adventure. We're doing a spiced wine drink, a nice rustic hearty bread with some streaks of bacon, and a tangy lemon balm sauce.
Yes, so stay tuned because we're going to give you some really good tips on how to make your adventure that starts in a tavern pop.
So we'll start with the Hippocras. It's an old spiced wine drink, originally found in medieval times, drank by peasants and kings alike, and it's super simple.
Would you consider yourself a hypocrite if you drink Hippocras?
No, why would I?
Go on.
And what's nice about this is even if your guests don't like wine, they'll like this. Trust me. So we've got a bunch of spices here. I've got chopped ginger right into a pitcher. I've got cloves and cinnamon. I've also got some sugar and some honey or whatever sweetener of choice. That's all going into a pitcher, a container, a jar, anything that can hold a bottle of wine.
That smells pretty darn good.
It smells really good.
Now, do you have to use fresh ginger for this, or can they use powdered ginger?
I would use fresh ginger. It's inexpensive. You only can buy a small little knob. You chop it to however you like. If you don't like that much ginger flavor, put less in or leave it in larger chunks.
I like it.
Now, just an inexpensive bottle of red wine.
We're gonna drink this whole thing on camera, just for you. No, we're not.
I'm gonna drink because I don't know what you're drinking.
Well, that's how much.
And again, sweetener of choice. I put some sugar in here. You can use some honey as well, or you can use both like I am. However sweet you want it. That's it. Cover it. Let it sit for all day.
Okay then. Should they keep it chilled? Is this a chilled drink?
No.
No, it wouldn't have been in the medieval times, huh?
You can drink it warm. There have been reports of them drinking it heated up, but you don't have to. It'd be more similar to like a mulled wine during Christmas time.
I love it.
It's your choice.
Okay, let's go on to the bread.
Bread.
Ah, bread! Okay, so, Spencer, I have a question for you.
Answer.
Okay, daily double. D&D, Pathfinder, 13th Age, Dungeon Crawl Classics, Dungeon World. If you asked 1,000 people on the street who played those games, what would they say that time period took place in? What does it mirror close to in our world?
I would say that they would answer it would take place somewhere in the medieval ages, dark ages, or the Renaissance.
Oh, the Renaissance.
The Renaissance.
It's a new one. Well, I think that would be correct. I think a lot of them would lean more towards the medieval side of than the Renaissance side. Though, there are more learned people than I think out there, so.
I agree. I mean, a lot of opening to campaigns start in grungy cities and disgusting taverns. Yet at the same breath, there is entire schools and universities dedicated to higher learning and magic. If humans had magic back then, we'd be in about the equivalent of the year 3000, I think. The technology would be insane.
So you know what's really cool about this particular bread recipe is it bridges the gap between the medieval and the Renaissance. Because we're using some white flour, which would have been bougie as F for medieval times, let alone also Renaissance times. But things got a little bit more easy and cheaper to mass produce at that time, so some white flour isn't too off the mark for us. You're adventurers, you're expensive. You can afford it.
Maybe a level 5.
Yes. So speaking of the white flour, we're going to get ourselves a nice large mixing bowl, and here I already have 3 tablespoons of oil. I've made this so many times that I've come to the conclusion that making this with vegetable oil is better. 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil is better than 3 tablespoons of butter. It makes it a little bit less dense, and as much as I like dense bread, it gets a little bit thick and soggy.
Your choice.
It's my choice. You know, Either of your choices
His
is math.
video, he does what he wants.
It is. Also, you can do this in the bread maker. I've done this in the bread maker too, but we're going to do it by hand.
You can also use a stand mixer with the bread hook attachment.
Yes, but we're men. So here I got 2.5 cups of flour. This is specifically bread flour, 13.7% gluten, I do believe it is. So the recipe is going to be in the description. I'm also going to have the recipe thrown up over Spencer's head. We're going to add our whole wheat flour, which would be more in line with the times. We're going to be adding our oats, which is very nice. And here I have barley, which is also mixed with our salt. I'm using the smoked sea salt because I like that so much.
Fancy.
I know, right? And then I also have some oat bran.
That's gonna be a nice hearty bread.
It is going to be nice and hearty.
Got a lot of crunchies and it got a lot of good strong flour as well.
And then I also have some water, 1.25 cups of water, which I am going to tell you. And then I also have 5 tablespoons of honey in here and 2 packets of active dry yeast. If you're going to do this in the bread maker, use the rapid rise yeast. Okay. And then you could probably close this up if you wanted to. I'm going to pour this guy right into here. My hands are clean, and as Spencer said, you could use this with a stand mixer, but I just like to really get in here and do it myself.
It's looking fairly well incorporated there.
Yep, kneaded it by hand. And what I'm going to do with this now is I am going to let it rest and proof for 90 minutes, covered. And a pro tip for that is if you put some boiling water in like a metal tin in the oven, and then you put this on the top rack and that on the bottom rack, it helps create a very, very good proofing box, homemade. So let's see what it looks like after our first proof.
That's a nice looking hunk of bread.
Yes, and now I'm going to let it second proof for another hour, uncovered but on the pan.
Yeah, just let it relax. Cover it with my magic cloth.
There you go. Okay, everyone, so now, after we let that proof again for another hour, I stuck it in the oven. It was preheating at 350 degrees. And I put it in for about 35 minutes. It's going to be a little bit dependent on how much moisture you have. But I was just looking for the bottom to be a little bit crusty and brown. Came out to more like 34 minutes, but between 30 and 40 minutes. If you have a bread maker, it's going to auto ding for you. And I'll have bread maker recipe, I'll have the exact settings below. But let's pull this puppy out.
Ooh, that looks nice.
I did the cardinal sin of YouTube and I put my butt towards the camera. Ah! Was that not hot? Cotton. No, it's fine.
That was
It's not really hot, everyone.
Close up. Okay.
So yes. So we have ourselves. I put a little bit of sprinkle of some oats on top, but this is what we got going with us, and now we gotta get ready for that bacon.
Oh yeah, gotta bring home the bacon.
Ah yeah. So Spencer, tell us a little bit about why you like to play RPGs.
Well, do you want the real answer or the cynical answer? It doesn't matter because they're both the same. I play RPGs because it's a great escape from this awful reality.
I like it.
No, it's a really nice change of pace to be able to express one's own creativity in a fictional world amongst friends. I think that's probably one of the biggest things. If I was playing with strangers, I don't think I'd have as much fun. When I play with people that I know, you connect with them on a different wavelength because you're expressing ideas that really don't exist in the world. And it's all about just being creative with one another.
You know what's kind of funny is that you and I met because of D&D because I needed some of this.
He did actually. He came into my workplace and wanted something to drink for making a drink. And
Versus drug.
And we've been friends ever since.
Huzzah!
Huzzah indeed, I'll drink to that.
So in here I have some lemon balm. Now you can do this with sorrel, which we have done. But friend of the show, Jacques, he gave me some of his lemon balm.
Nice guy, Jack. This one's out to you.
Yes, and also I have some Himalayan rock salt in here. And I'm gonna add some red wine vinegar because what we're trying for here, it's probably a little bit too much, but you never know.
Never too much red wine.
I'm using a mud liquor. If you have a mortar and pestle, that's probably your best bet. But now we're trying to get all these flavors incorporated.
Can you do this with any other herbs other than the two you mentioned?
Probably. The only reason why I went with lemon balm or sorrel is because those are what we find in the old medieval recipes. So that's why I was trying to stay true to the time, but it's not necessarily what we have to do.
Well, after doing some research on the time, it was really nice to find out that they had recipe books and they have, basically what we have now. Recipes weren't set in stone, you have to do it this way. You can substitute that. Everybody had their own recipe. Every merchant had their own spice blend to sell for wine. Everybody had their own favorite herbs to make sauce with.
Yep, and you know what? It sounds like the bacon is done, so let's get that.
Nice.
So, I did put the leaves themselves in some cheesecloth. You can do it with clean linen cloth as well, but I'm using cheesecloth because that was easier to source.
We're just extracting the flavors now. We're not using the actual leaves themselves. They'd be a little too fibrous.
Yes.
So just squeeze all that friendly juice out. And while you're doing that, I think the wine's all done. It's been setting all day. I'm just gonna, since we're fancy here, just gonna strain it. You don't want to drink any of those chunks of ginger, or cinnamon, or cloves into a beautiful decanter or serving vessel.
And whilst you do that, I'm gonna cut off some of this bread.
Please do.
Now I like end pieces, but I think that these will probably do. You know what? I do like end pieces. I'm gonna take the end piece unless you want it. So now, the bread is basically going to be our trencher. So we're going to put a piece of bacon down on that bread. And then I'm going to use our fancy lemon balm salt red wine vinegar mixture and just dab the top.
I'm not gonna dab. I'm not gonna do it.
Not going to dab for me?
I was thinking about it. I'm not gonna do it.
I'm not going to do it.
Not for free.
Okay, that should be good. And then we're going to pour that into our chalice and let's get ready to eat.
For you.
Ooh. One for me. So, there you have it. A bacon lemon balm trencher with homemade bread that you made yourself and hippocras? Hippocras. So let's dink to this, let's dink to that, and
That's good.
sounds good.
That's good too.
The sweetness of the bread and the saltiness of this is just so good.
I said it before, if your guests don't like wine, they will like that. I
Yes.
guarantee you.
Thank you guys very much for watching. We hope that this is a great way for you to start your tavern campaign. And if
Or-
you- sorry.
Or if you just want to show off your cooking skills to your friends.
There you go. Again, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember to game on.
Game on!